Every now and then I'll find comfort in watching content from like a massively famous creator on Twitch or YouTube or TikTok, but I can't help but notice that the majority of their audience is children. And I find this extremely weird because they're adults making content for adults. They're talking about really graphic things, graphic details, shooting the shit, serious topics. They're not censoring it. And these children are in their audience interacting with them as if they're adults, and the creators are interacting with them as if they're adults too. But if I am an onlooker and I can notice right away that the majority of their audience is children, I feel like the creator has to have caught on to that at some point. And I know that this isn't fully on the creator. Plenty of kids go online and lie about their ages, and they make private accounts and they pretend to be adults. It is also not the creator's responsibility to suddenly switch to kids' content because they found out a child was watching their videos. That is the responsibility of the parent or guardian to monitor their children's internet access and to not let them interact with random adults online in the first place. I was groomed on Kik when I was a kid. It can get very bad, and I do believe that the majority of parents and guardians today don't understand how bad it is to have your kids have unfiltered, uncensored internet access because it's dangerous out here. When I was a kid, I loved YouTubers like O2L, Troye Sivan, but they were teenagers while I was a preteen. That's different than these teenagers watching grown adults and interacting with them as if they are peers when they're just not because of their age difference. I mean, a 30-year-old is not a peer with a 12-year-old. I look back and understand how worrisome and problematic and dangerous it is that grown adults were the audience of these teenage YouTubers at the time. That can get predatory very, very quickly. However, what we're seeing now is the flip side, where these children are interacting with these adult creators, and the adult creators, some of them do know that their audience are children and are still interacting with them as if they're adults anyway. That is how we get situations like Colleen Ballinger. We wonder why these giant creators have the most parasocial, toxic fan bases. It's because they're kids. They think that these creators can do no harm. They idolize them. They deify them. When a creator that big does or says something problematic and they have a million children backing them up saying, "Good job," that creator is never held accountable, and they don't have to be held accountable ever because they still get their bag off of it. Those children learn that if you mess up, you don't have to apologize or take accountability or change your behavior as long as you have enough people saying you did a good job regardless, or that it's okay to be toxic. Everybody loses in that situation. And the people who were harmed definitely lose. I know that these kids are not going to suddenly switch to kids' content now that they've been exposed to so much adult content early on. They are expediting the part of child development where you slowly are introduced to adult things as you age. They're getting exposed to that on a daily basis at rapid speeds that you and I have never experienced. Even though I grew up on the internet, this is different with short form content and how fast it goes. Children deserve healthy role models. I know that. And I also know that these creators are not healthy role models for them. I'm not saying that they're problematic adults necessarily, because some of them are really decent people from the outside perspective of an audience member. Now, I'm not saying I know any of them personally, trust me. That would be parasocial as well. However, they're still not making kids content. And I don't think that they should be put on that pedestal in the first place, especially if they never signed up for it. I mean, they're not kid creators because they don't want to be kid creators. I don't know what we can even do about this because this is problematic on so many different levels for pretty much everybody involved. At the end of the day, I wish the US government had way better handle on this internet situation, because there are a lot of things that should be censored that aren't, and then the things that shouldn't be censored are. It's backwards on purpose. I know that. So when the system's not working in our favor, what can we do as a community, as an individual, to try to lessen the amount of harm that we cause? My individual thing is that I don't interact with kids. Once I find out they're kids, I block them. And I know that might hurt their feelings, but I hope that one day when they're an adult, they do understand why I did that and how that's a good thing, that an adult doesn't want to interact with a random person's child that they don't know. So I hope they don't take it personally. They will get over it, just like I did when adults blocked me when I was a kid. And now I look back and think, that was actually a really good move. I don't see this talked about a lot at all, so I just wanted to put my 2 cents. Let me know your thoughts too.